A newly released consumer debt study is providing a striking look at the financial pressures facing British Columbians. Nearly all the participants of the study, about 95%, report being impacted by inflation, with 81% saying their mental health has actually suffered due to debt-related stress. Joining us this morning to take a closer look at the numbers and the solutions available is licensed insolvency trustee and president of Sands & Associates, Blair Mantin. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning, Mona.
Welcome back to you.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Yes, happy to have you on the show. So, Blair, this is the 13th year you guys have undertaken this study. What are some of the key takeaways of the most recent BC consumer debt study?
Yeah, there are a couple that are consistent, and it's so nice to have the history of this because these are real people that have restructured their debt. They had issues, they've dealt with them, so getting their insights is really important. Credit cards continue to be the #1 thing that tends to get people into trouble. As you'll see, it's 4.5 times more likely that a credit card is your #1 problem than other types of debt. Now, payday loans have grown a lot in the last couple of years as well. That's now the #2 thing. But otherwise, you know, tax debt, lines of credit, student loans, so on and so forth. But certainly, if you're picking the #1 thing that tends to get people over the edge, it's credit cards for sure.
Absolutely. So what's driving consumer debt in BC?
And that was the biggest insight for this year. This is the first time in our 13-year history, usually people blame themselves first. They said, I got too much credit, I made bad decisions.
Yeah.
This is the first time when people have said, no, it's the cost of living. I just couldn't get ahead. So using credit for essential cost of living, that was the #1 reason why people said they were getting into trouble. And if we were looking back even just 5 years ago, that was under 10% of people, now almost 30% of people.
Right, yeah, we can see the shifts there.
Yeah, exactly. So using credit for essential cost of living is just way up these last few years. And we know exactly why. Like, everything is more expensive. When we asked about, has inflation impacted you or your household? Yeah, 95% of people said they're spending more, sometimes up to 50% more for the essential cost of just getting by.
Right, so whatever they're making at the end of the day or the work week isn't covering their living expenses.
And the credit fills the gap, sadly.
Right, right. So at what point does getting by turn into a problem?
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have a debt problem, it's not something you can just put away and it impacts your life a little bit. The vast majority of people that we speak with, it's a constant worry. It's a constant feeling. It's anxiety. So really what we've said is if you think you have a debt problem, you're probably right. If you're worried about your money, if you're not sure how you're going to make ends meet, even if you're just stuck on this treadmill of just making minimum payments, that's a huge warning sign that your debt's becoming a problem and you need to reach out to get some assistance.
Right on. What do these numbers tell you from the study this year?
It tells me that a lot of people are suffering. They really are. More so than ever before, people are feeling it's almost impossible to get ahead, to make those ends meet. It also tells me that there's hope, because when people do get help for their debt, they feel so much better. There's a way forward for them. But it also lets us know that people are delaying a lot of times. So only 5% of people are reaching out for help when they know they have a debt problem. 95% of people are suffering. And for most people, they're suffering about 2 years.
Right.
There's a ton of people out there that are just treading water, feeling hopeless when they wake up, you know, look at the mail and see their credit card bills, and they're probably going to be in that situation for up to 2 years is what our research shows before they take some action. So the idea of this research is to let people know they're not alone. A lot of people are facing the same issues and they can get help sooner than having to wait those 2 years.
And really quickly, tell us, if a viewer is in that position, what can they do? What does a meeting with a licensed insolvency trustee look like?
Well, it costs you nothing. It's a free meeting. It's confidential. It's no judgment, no obligation to move forward. A trustee's job is to help you understand all of your options. And if you're able to move forward to restructure your debt, a trustee is going to partner with you every step of the way, help you get back on track. Only 1 in 10 people we see, we help with a bankruptcy. 9 out of 10, we do a proposal. And it's the best way to get people back on track.
Right, they're on your side.
Absolutely, yes.
Blair, thanks so much for your time with us this morning.
Thank
That's
you.
Blair Mantin from Sands & Associates,